Lefty. 3-2. Brasso sends one into left field. Gardner going back, and it is up and gone!
With that home run, Michael Brasso and the Tampa Bay Rays got their revenge on the New York Yankees, and on top of that, they knocked out Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole from being able to participate in today's video. We're going to rank the 10 best remaining players left in the 2020 postseason. We have the Astros, we have the Rays, the Braves, and the Dodgers. So 4 teams to work with. Are we going to put Jose Altuve in the top 10? Do you think that Tyler Glasnow or Clayton Kershaw deserves to be in the top 10 discussion? That's what we're going to do today. It's going to be super spicy, but spicy videos are always fun, so do not forget to subscribe and leave a like. Let's go for 3,000 likes on today's video, and without further ado, let's do it. Let's get spicy and let's start talking baseball. First and foremost, I do want to talk about the honorable mentions. So Clayton Kershaw, unfortunately, he is one of the best pitchers of all time, but he's not going to make today's video because of how bad he's been in the postseason, so I just can't trust him in a playoff setting just yet. Next up, we have Travis d'Arnaud and Randy Arozarena. They've both been great in 2020 and into the playoffs, but I need to see a few more ABs from them in order to put my full trust in them. We have Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow. They both kind of get lit up by the Astros, so I'm not sure if I'm comfortable placing them in the top 10 when they're not good against an entire squad for the most part. And then Jose Altuve, after a horrific 2020 campaign, again, the trust factor is not there, so I'm going to leave him out for right now. All of these guys are still superstars, but for today's video, not cracking the top 10. That's just my opinion. Don't hate me. Coming in at the number 10 spot, I am going to give it to Max Fried over Blake Snell simply because Blake Snell has been pretty bad against the Astros. I think in 6 career starts, the Astros almost have a 900 OPS when facing Blake Snell. And kind of in the same breath, Max Fried is not the best against the Dodgers, but really the Dodgers are so good, it's hard to really find one guy that dominates them. But after a 2020 campaign in which Max Fried had a 2.25 ERA, he shut out the Reds in game number 1 of the wild card series. I know he was roughed up against the Marlins, but I fully expect Max Fried to come out and do some damage against a Dodgers lineup that features a lot of lefties. But again, the Dodgers are so good and versatile. They can bring in Kike Hernandez, Chris Taylor. They're going to be fine, but I do like Max Fried at the 10 spot. We all saw what Charlie Morton did against the Yankees. I know he had a few innings where he really had to work hard, but that's what makes Charlie Morton a beast in the playoffs. If you go back to his last 15 innings in the postseason, he's only given up 2 earned runs. And on top of that, I think that Charlie Morton is going to have an advantage going into the series versus the Astros, because if you don't remember, Charlie Morton really started to turn around his career with the Astros. So I think he knows their weaknesses. I think he knows the pitches that they're not very good on 2 strikes. Now I know analytics are really going to help, but the human element, I think that Charlie Morton has that on his side, so he will get my 9th best player left in the 2020 postseason. Now this might shock you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and put Cody Bellinger at the 8th spot. I say that, I know he won the 2019 MVP, but he started off hot and then every single month he got worse and worse and worse. And then in the postseason, he was awful. Probably the worst player aside from his teammate AJ Pollock. Now in 2020, again, he was not able to replicate that MVP season, but in the last series versus the Padres, what did he do? He showed his worth. He hit a home run and robbed a home run in the same game. He had 5 RBIs. It was by far his best series in his postseason career. So I think that Cody Bellinger might be getting hot at the right time. But then again, just like his teammate Clayton Kershaw, the postseason has not been nice to him, so I don't know if I trust to put him higher than our next player, number 7, Alex Bregman. Now, Alex Bregman, he kind of gets a pass from me considering he was injured for a good part of the 2020 season. We all know that he put up Barry Bonds numbers last year and he almost won MVP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put him at the 7th spot, and I say that because you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's been good in the playoffs. I understand that 2017 was one of his better years, but I do want to give it to him because he's really good against lefties. He's going to have a start against Blake Snell. He's also been pretty good against Tyler Glasnow. So when he's healthy, he's been awesome, especially in the postseason with an 841 career OPS. I know that trash cans had something to do with that, but for me, Alex Bregman, he's still a stud, so he cracks the top 10 in my opinion. I will never forget the day that I was at the World Series, the Dodgers versus the Red Sox, and I saw Walker Buehler go 7 innings of shutout baseball, throwing 99 miles an hour in the 7th inning. That's all I needed to see, and then the stats are there to back back it up. Really, his ERA has been spiked because of a Ronald Okuna Jr. grand slam a couple years ago, but so far in 44.1 innings pitched in the postseason, Walker Buehler has a 2.84 ERA. So considering I've seen him in person, he can get it up to 100 miles an hour if he wants to. He's going to be locked in and facing a lineup that features a lot of hitters that are better against lefties. So I like Walker Buehler going into this one. He is going to be my number 6th best player left in the postseason. Freddie Freeman is most likely going to win MVP after bashing 13 home runs. He had 53 runs batted in and a crazy 1102 OPS. Now, unfortunately, he suffers the same fate as Cody Bellinger and Clayton Kershaw. He's not very clutch in the postseason. Now he's starting to flip the script a little bit. He had the walk-off against the Reds, and he's been clutch in the other games. I do want to tip my cap to that, but unfortunately, I can't place him higher than number 5th on the list because in 19 career postseason games, he only has 3 RBIs and a 731 OPS. That's not even average. He's been below average in the postseason, so I don't know if the pressure gets to him, but for right now, he's definitely not ahead of George Springer or Carlos Correa. Again, I understand that trash cans had something to do with the 2017, maybe even the 2018 season, but have you seen what George Springer and Carlos Correa are doing so far to start this postseason, where we know they're not cheating? There's no way that they would bite the bullet yet again. George Springer might be the greatest playoff hitter in the history of baseball. He has 17 home runs and a 919 OPS in 56 games. That is mind-blowing. That doesn't make sense. Maybe it was aided by the 2017 stats. I think he won the World Series MVP that year, but I know that they are raking and they have a chip on their shoulder, which makes them play even better fast forwarding all the way to this season 2020. So George Springer, he's just ahead of Freddie Freeman because he's been there, he's done that. The dude gets better as the pressure amounts. And the same goes for Carlos Correa. I mean, all I really have to say is through 6 games of the playoffs this year, okay, I want you all to really just sit back and just don't pay attention to the fact that his name is Carlos Correa, because as soon as I say that, you're all thinking, cheater, cheater, boo. So if I just said player A had 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, and a 1600 OPS through the first 6 games of the playoffs, you'd be saying, how is he doing that? That's Barry Bonds-like against the Angels. There's no way that you don't have him in the top 10. So that's exactly why Carlos Correa is going to be my 3rd best player left in the postseason. He's done it in the past, the World Series, he's had walk-off home runs, he's done it all. And he's playing with vengeance. He is playing with hate in his heart. It's a little bit petty, it's a little bit condescending, but it's working. I'll tip my cap. So the final 2 players left, you pretty much know who we have on the table. We have Mookie Betts and Ronald Okuna Jr. So who is going to be my number 1 player? It's not going to be Ronald Okuna Jr. because I'm going to place him as our number 2. Now, he raked in the regular season. It was his highest OPS of his career. And so far in 14 postseason games, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, and a 1,000 plus OPS. Ronald Okuna Jr. is money. He can do it in the field. He can steal you a few bags. So I truly think that Ronald Okuna Jr. is a generational talent. But unfortunately, Mookie Betts has not retired. He's not going around anytime soon. You could almost kind of put these guys neck and neck for tied in terms of first place, which is awesome because they're playing each other. I can't wait to see who has the better series. But Mookie Betts, after being traded from the Red Sox to the Dodgers, he was on pace for a 10-plus WAR season if they actually played 162 games. He had 16 bombs. He played Gold Glove defense. Now, he has not hit a home run just yet in 5 postseason games, but he has 4 RBIs. He's hitting well above 300 to start 2020 and the playoffs. So I truly think that considering his defense, his power, everything that you need from a baseball player, Mookie Betts gives it to you, and he plays every single day, so he's going to have more chances than a Max Fried or a Charlie Morton, so he's going to be my number 1 player. And that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you agree or disagree with any of my picks, please let me know in the comment section down below. Maybe you think that Walker Buehler should be number 10, maybe you think that Jose Altuve should be on the list, or maybe someone like Clayton Kershaw or Blake Snell. Let me know. I'm curious to see what you guys are debating out there in the baseball community. So thank you again for watching. Stay safe out there. It's baseball day. Postseason baseball, it's happening.